It's not that you're unorganized or that you don't have enough time. It's the fact that you're not using the right systems in order to stay productive. I'm Kendall Berg, that career coach, and I help people find progression and success in their careers without burning out. And today we are back with our Maximizing Productivity series, where we are talking about the best apps and systems to stay on top of your workload. So we're going to talk about some of the actual tactical, real things that I use day to day as a executive within a company, a business owner, a mom of two, a person who would like to have a hobby, maybe, and who enjoys fitness, to kind of keep track of all of the different things that we need to juggle and stay on top of them. So we're going to talk about some of my favorite tech and some of my favorite tools that I use in order to stay in the know. So we're going to start first with one of my favorites, and I have shared this before on the podcast and on my channel, but I got a Remarkable tablet. Not just that it is remarkable, but that's what it's called. A Remarkable tablet probably 3 or 4 years ago as a gift to myself when my business first started growing. And I love it because it doesn't have all of the frills and apps and things that an iPad has, which I find can be very distracting for me or kind of keep me split focused. And it feels just like writing on paper. So all it has is the pen that comes with it. And all you can do is create and write on notebooks and paper. So I use it to sign all of my contracts. Each contract type has a different folder. I save them. I can sign them. It's considered a dry signature. And then I also have a planner that I download every year from Etsy that you can just buy. And that planner has a monthly view where I can see all of the days of every month. I can click in and say, here's all of the important dates in January. I can click on a week and see the week at glance. So here's Monday through Friday, what I have going on. And then I can click into my Monday and it will show me all of the things on my to-do list that day. And so what this allows me to do is not only plan my meetings, not only plan my calendar, not only plan my to-dos, but because it has an easy copy-paste feature, it allows me to track my habits so that each day I have the same checklist. It allows me to create recurring so that every Monday I have to do these same things. And it gives me somewhere where, hey, I know in 3 weeks I need to do this thing. I'm just going to go write it 3 weeks from now on that day so that I don't forget about it. They have, since I bought mine, come out with a color version, which I wish I had because I do like to highlight things for different meanings. And they have a mini one that fits in a bag. So the benefit of having the mini one is they all sync together. So if you were on the go, you could write on the mini and still have it show up at home. Right now, I just use the app so I can view everything that's in my Remarkable tablet on the app on my phone. I can type and add things, but I generally don't use it that way. But for me, this has been the single best investment in technology. This isn't sponsored. I don't have a code. Sorry, guys. But this is like my favorite product I've ever bought for myself to help me run my business. And Remarkable, if you're hearing this and you would like to sponsor me, I accept. Okay, so this is a really great tool that I've used a lot. A second one that I use is Note. So it's capital A Note, and that is only available on iPhone and iPad. So I recently switched over to Android, and I'm not able to get this app anymore, which is like honestly the biggest sad face from my switch. But it allows you to create recurring tasks that come up every day that you can checklist off. It allows you to add task days in advance. Again, if I know in 3 weeks I need to do something, I'll just add it in there so I don't forget. It also allows you to make notes and collect those notes into notebooks. So I used to have like a budgeting notebook that had all my budgets for every paycheck. I have one that's like house related things, and I would keep my notes for there for my kids. So I do really like Note, especially if you're on the go and you're like me, and if you don't write it down, it's not going to happen. So I joke I have short-term memory loss unless it's written somewhere. So if I have a to-do list item, or I need to remember to respond to somebody's email, or somebody sent me something and I need to catch up with them, it is a great place for tracking all of those different thoughts. Now, on my Android phone, which I recently switched to, I've had it for little less than a month now. The app that I have that replaced Note is a blue Any.do. I think it's ANY.do, I think is what it's called. And it has the same thing. So it allows for recurring tasks. Yes, ANY.do. HoneyBook.do. It's a little blue icon with a little white check mark. And it allows you to do the same thing, set recurring tasks, create reminders, add tasks in there on certain days, track how many tasks you're completing. And like I said, for somebody like me who just needs to get it out of their brain and onto paper, I find that those kinds of apps are really, really helpful. I also use the Notes app. I did an iPhone and I use the Notes app on Android as well to just keep track of things like recipes, budget, checklists. I have my collections in there so that I don't buy the same item from a collection more than once, right? And I use those again as like a brain dump. What I have found is when you are really busy, your mental load is really high. So you're carrying a lot of different things and tasks and items in your brain at all times, and it can become really overwhelming and really draining. So getting those out of my brain onto paper, onto an app has been really, really helpful for me. I did an episode where we discussed how to do productivity with Kelly Nolan. And in that episode, we talk about planning out your whole week, how to structure it, how to basically get every single thought out of your brain. So everything from what do you do with your kids' bedtime routine? What's your morning routine? When do you have to eat lunch? And really organizing that is helpful. And that is something that I do on my Remarkable tablet. So like my week shows, hey, these are all of the different items that I need to do. And here's the time slots that they go in. And I have like an example week. And then each week I kind of slot things into that same template. So I find that that can be a good exercise. The other tool that I will mention for keeping track is Notion. So if you're not familiar with Notion, it can be fairly overwhelming in the beginning. I do think it's great, especially for somebody who doesn't have a Remarkable tablet or an iPad where they can put the same kind of calendar system that I've talked about, because Notion allows you to do the recurring tasks in it. It allows you to do the weekly schedule. It allows you to create the layouts and track project success and do project subfolders and do all the things that I've talked about. And then there is an app on your phone so you can see those and add to them or check them off on the go, and then similarly adjust it. So Notion is an app that is on my 2026 list of like wanting to get better at 2027. And so I think it can be a really, really powerful tool if you invest in it. There's also a bunch of great creators on TikTok and Instagram who sell templates that will allow you to kind of jump to the front of the line and learn how Notion works a little bit faster. But definitely check that out if you haven't. That can also be really great because it has a team setting. So if you wanted to create folders and how-tos and SOPs and documents and to-do lists for your team, if you're a business owner or if you're running a corporate team, it can be really great for that as well. In the same vein, for corporate teams, I find that Trello by Atlassian, day.com are great tools. Anything that's similar to a Kanban board that has like different phases and you can drag the cards and assign them to different team members, I find is a really, really helpful tool. The reason is it allows you to see everything that has to happen for a project to be successful, who's it's assigned to, how much time does it take, when is it due, and kind of see that in one place so that you can project manage more effectively. It's definitely a tool that I recommend often to my CEO founders or to my teams leaders who lead large organizations so that they can kind of have visibility without having to micromanage. There's also some tips if you are a business owner that I think can be really helpful, some tools that I personally use. So I use HoneyBook as my CRM for all of my clients. What I like about it is like my contracts are in there, my invoices are in there, my payment processing is in there, and it allows me to take notes for every client. So in a program like what I offer, where I'm meeting with a client, we're talking about different things, I'm assigning homework, it gives me a place to take those notes so that they're able to see them on a regular basis and so that I can keep track of what's going on in each file. So for anybody who's interacting a lot with the same clients over and over and over again, I love a tool like HoneyBook. I find it really helpful. It also has stages for closing clients and tracking conversion and all of that. And then the other tool I've really been loving for running my business is Stan Store. So I was previously hosting all of my products in Kajabi, and then I had a link tree to get you to all of the different places. And I found that it was just kind of expensive to run all of it. And one of the things I really like about Stan Store is it's really upfront with the pricing. It's really clear to clients what they're getting and what the cost is. It does allow you to store your course in there. So if you have 7 modules and you want to store it, it's all accessible for somebody like me who runs a lot of courses. That's been really beneficial. And the price point is about a tenth of what I was paying on Kajabi. So I definitely recommend Stan Store to check out, especially if you're trying to build a lo-fi website. Like maybe you don't even have a website, you just want somewhere where people can go and buy your products or use your affiliate links or book a call. It's a really, really great tool for that. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. I find that time management can always be a little bit challenging, and these tools are things that I personally use that have made it easier. If you liked this, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and check back in next week for some more great advice. But if you have some of your own favorite products, leave them in the comments below so that we can go check them out. Otherwise, we'll see you back here next week.